Hello every pony and welcome to Brony FanFics. Today, it's just a random one. Don't really know what to expect from it. I'm still not feeling well, so that's not going to play by my side, but whatever. So this is 2 and 2 and 2, made by Mayclore. Rarity sauntered down the street, admiring the lovely spring day. She was on her way to the library to see Twilight. Normally this would be the day that she and Fluttershy would go to the spa, but the Pegasus was occupied with the bunny census. Not willing to go alone, for her spa days were less about the spa experience itself than catching up with her friends. She was looking for a pony to take with her. She had been denied twice already. Applejack was smack in the middle of apple bucking and no time to spare. And Rainbow Dash reacted to the idea of going in her usual fashion, whining about how the spa was too boring and too frilly, and she had tricks to try out, and flew off to practice something or other. The Purple Unicorn, however, was a reliable substitute. Although she had a bit of a habit of reading during her pedi, Twilight was always a good source of conversation. Her level-headed nature made it easy for Rarity to bounce ideas off of. And though she wouldn't admit it, Twilight did like being pampered every once in a while. And I've lost my way, hang on. Rarity stopped for a moment, having arrived at the great library tree. She peeked in through the window to make sure Twilight was home. Sure enough, she was settled at the table looking at a tremendously large book of some sort. Turning on her charm, Rarity went to the door and walked in. "Good afternoon, darling," she chirped happily. Twilight looked up and gave her friend a smile, but her eyes betrayed a silver worry. Hello, Rarity. What brings you here?" "Fluttershy had to cancel our weekly get-together, and I was looking for somebody to come with me to the spa," she explained, walking closer to the other unicorn. She couldn't help but notice the book. It was a hardbound beast of a tome, with a black cover, looked exceptionally grim. The pages weren't yellowed, like some of Twilight's books. In fact, they were nearly brand new. "My word, what are you reading?" "Oh, this is a book I requested from the Canterlot Library," she said as Rarity came closer to examine it. "It's a nearly complete anyway, history of the elements of harmony." Rarity blinked down at the text. Did something happen? Is something about to happen? She asked nervously. Every time those magical artifacts popped up, it seemed Equestria went off the deep end, requiring 6 ponies from Ponyville to fix it. "No, everything's fine, Twilight sighed, looking at once worried and ashamed to be worried. Rarity looked at her with concern and patiently waited for her to continue. "I heard a story recently. It's a crazy rumour, but I don't know, it just bothers me." The White Unicorn frowned. She had direct experience with the power of rumours, both good and bad. "Tell me all about it, dear. Perhaps I can help you clear the air." Twilight's face became awkwardly serious. "Well, it's about Pinkie Pie. I heard some ponies say she actually has 6 legs." Rarity stared and blinked for a moment. "Beg pardon?" "You know that expression, putting 2 and 2 together?" Rarity nodded. "Well, Matilda said she saw Pinkie do it with her hooves, but she had another 2. And she had 2 extra hooves to count it," Twilight said, looking back down at her book. "That's why I'm reading this. It's supposed to have every effect of the elements of harmony listed, and I'm trying to figure out if that's one of them, and if we can all do it." The White Unicorn was absolutely dumbfounded. Matilda was a very reasonable donkey, and never said anything outlandish. She surely must have been seeing things. "Darling, I think you need to take a break from researching. Let's get our horns filed," she ordered, trying to cut off another legendary Twilight nervous breakdown before it got too far. "But I can't. This is going to bug me until I figure out what happened," Twilight moaned, turning a page with her magic. "Twilight, it was probably just Pinkie waving her legs about. Or perhaps Matilda just glanced and thought she saw some more hooves than there really were. Rarity said, becoming worried about her friend's worry. I'm certain it's nothing out of the ordinary. Maybe you're right. I wish I could just put two and two together and find an answer to this mess. She lamented. Rarity smiled and was about to stand, but something caught her attention. As her grinning face turned into a mask of shock, Twilight blinked. What? What happened? She asked, and then she looked down at her hoofs. She had indeed counted off 2 and 2 and 2. 6 purple hooves were in front of her face. Simultaneously, the 2 unicorns shrieked at the top of their lungs. How did you do that? Rarity yelled, backing away on her haunches. I don't know. I just said the same thing Pinkie did. Twilight looked around helplessly. Now they're gone. The white unicorn pointed frantically. Where did they go? I don't know. I don't even know where they came from. Twilight yelled back at her. They were both scrambling about now, staring at the floor, fully expecting more hooves to sprout from it. What in Equestria? Rarity said, more than a little terrified. She peered down at herself to check for appendages she hadn't entered the library with. You try it, Twilight said. See if it happens to you. I am perfectly satisfied with the 4 legs I have now, thank you very much. She shot back, shaking slightly. Rarity, come on. We might be affected by some sort of spell or curse or something. Twilight demanded. Try it. The white unicorn sat down, her lips trembling. Very well. I wish I could put 2 and 2 and 2 together and sort out all this Ah! She screamed. Every tooth from her mouth drew a pair of white hooves. First her hooves, then her rear ones, and now an extra set seemed to sprout right up from the floorboards. Twilight immediately tried to touch them, but the second Rarity lost her train of thought, they vanished. What in the name of all that is fashionable is going on here? Rarity screeched, curling into a ball on the floor. Twilight clung to her, trying to calm her down. I wish I knew. Oh, wow. If we can do it, that means the others can too. We've got to tell them. Rarity nodded slightly, standing up. Warn them, more like. After that, we need to figure out who cast this spell on us. Or if this is part of bearing the elements, Twilight mused, heading for the door. Well, if it is, Princess Celestia can give her fancy jewellery to someone else. I did not sign up for the 6-legged fabulous unicorn club, Rarity complained, following her friend out of the library. Oh, I'm sorry, I just don't feel well. Applejack was examining the tree she was about to buck. Many harvests' worth of experience had taught her that force was not always the answer. Some of the trees were so laden with fruit it took only one well-placed hoof to bring their apples down. This was one such tree. The Earth Pony turned around, selecting her rear hoof to do the deed. With a woody thunk, she kicked the trunk, then listened with a smile as the apples tumbled into the baskets arranged around the tree. Just as this noise ended, she heard another unfamiliar one. When she realized it was the galloping of hoofs, she tilted her head. Another second passed before she saw Twilight and Rarity tearing down the path at full speed and calling her name. I'm over here, she yelled back, watching them turn and barrel straight at her. It took them just a moment to arrive, but much longer to catch their breaths. What in tarnation? She blinked at them. What's got y'all burglars in such a twist? Applejack, Twilight gasped. 6 legs, Rarity breathed. We have them! You might too! The Earth Pony stared at them, looking at each unicorn as she spoke. Y'all feeling well? I only see 4 legs. Well, 8 total, she snickered. Count something, Twilight panted. 6 somethings, in 3 pairs of 2. Is this some sort of prank? Applejack eyed them suspiciously. Even though these two weren't generally known for their sense of humour. 'Cause I'd sure like to book this part of the orchard before it gets dark. Please, Applejack, we're not trying to be funny, Rarity pleaded. Rolling her eyes, the Earth Pony looked for something to count. Fine, I'll humour you, she grumbled, looking around for something. Looks like I'm 6 apples short of a bushel, so that's 2? She began counting with her hooves, as she usually did. The unicorns began staring intently. And 2? They leaned forward, eyes wide. And 2? What the heck? Applejack yelled, suddenly noticing 2 more orange hooves. And there should have been. She was so rattled she ran away from the extra pair, despite promptly vanishing and smacked into the tree behind her. It's true, Rarity wailed dramatically, while she checked on the dazed Earth Pony. We all have 6 legs. Wait. The pacing Twilight said, her voice taking on the leadership tone she sometimes got. We need to be sure. We've got to find Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy. Why do I have 6 legs? Applejack asked, rubbing her nose and trying to stand. Rather, why did I have 6 legs? Twilight thinks it's an element of harmony thing, but we're not sure, the White Unicorn explained, helping Applejack get up. What? Why in the world would the elements of harmony give us another pair of legs? The Earth Pony blinked. Rarity shrugged helplessly. I've not the slightest idea, darling. But if our friends sprout extra limbs when we see them, I think Celestia will need to find some other ponies to be harmonious. They all decided to head to Fluttershy's cottage right away, leaving a cloud of dust and a confused Apple Bloom, who was just walking up in their wake. I just wanted 2 bits to go by lemonade, the filly said, blinking. Fluttershy hummed, a little tune to herself as she checked her mailbox. It had taken her from nearly the crack of dawn until now to finish up the census. The fact that she had missed a few new arrivals complicated matters, but she finally got each and every fluffy bunny counted. Now she was just looking forward to a nice nap. As she rifled through the letters, why did that silly mailman keep giving her Berry Punch's mail anyway? She felt the ground vibrating slightly underneath her hooves. Oh no, a stampede! She gasped, preparing to take flight and wander town. When she had gotten a few feet above the ground, though, she saw the source of the din and tilted her head. Fluttershy! Oh, Fluttershy! Applejack, Twilight, and Rarity all yelled, sliding to a... Oh, I'm sorry about this. Sliding to a stop as the Pegasus fluttered gently back to the earth. Hello, every pony, she smiled, trying to mask her confusion. What's the rush? The 3 of them looked at each other while they panted for air, silently deciding who would be the group's spokespony. Rarity was the first to catch her breath, so she spoke up. Darling, you're going to think this is complete, absolute lunacy, but it's happened to all of us so far, she said, still panting a little. What happened? Fluttershy asked, her confusion becoming concern. We've all got 6 legs, she revealed, eyes bulging as though she'd just informed Fluttershy that the world was ending. The Pegasus looked at each of her friends. Lower extremities, squinting just in case she was missing something. I only see 4 each. They aren't there all the time, Applejack explained. Then thought of something to trigger the effect. How many baby bunnies were there this year? Oh, well, let me think, Fluttershy said, lifting off and hovering. There were 2 near the river. The other 3 watched with... I'm really sorry about that. The other 3 watched with bated breath as she used her hooves to keep track. 2 more under the big magnolia tree. Everything seemed normal so far. And 2 more by the pond, she concluded. When she saw their jaws drop, she became uneasy. What? Did I miss some? Fluttershy? Look, Twilight pointed. She glanced around, suddenly realising she had 2 more hooves than normal. Her natural reaction was, of course, to shriek as loudly as possible and hide in a nearby bush. The extra hooves vanished the moment she started moving. This is ridiculous, Applejack lamented, taking off her hat. Twilight was engaging in a panicked trot, her mind racing. What would we need this for? What are the elements trying to tell us? I don't want to be a 6-legged fabulous unicorn, Rarity wailed, a leg across her forehead for full dramatic effect. While the 4 ponies despaired about their interesting problem, Rainbow Dash appeared overhead and dove toward them at full speed. I heard screaming, she said, floating to a stop above them. Is every pony alright? The look she got from the 4 of them, including Fluttershy in her bush, made her heart jump into her throat. I didn't do it, she said, pointing a hoof at herself. Rainbow Dash, Twilight began, her voice serious as Rainbow had ever heard it. I need to know how many clouds you moved today. What? The blue Pegasus blinked, hopelessly lost. This is serious. I need you to tell me exactly how many clouds you moved. Your hooves to keep track, Twilight ordered, sounding a fair bit like her mentor when she was in a dire mood. Right, Rainbow gulped. Let me see. There were 2 over the Everfree Forest. They all began to stare at her intently. Even Fluttershy poked her head up out of the bush. 2 more over the town hall? Their mouths opened. They leaned forward, eyes shining with anticipation. And, oh yeah, 2 more over Froggy Bottom Bog. Froggy Bottom Bog. Fluttershy fainted, dead away, and Rarity almost followed suit. Applejack was so stupefied, she let her hat drop to the ground. Twilight looked to the sky, her mind desperately seeking an answer that wouldn't come. What? Rainbow asked. What did I do? Twilight pointed. She was the only pony in any shape to point now. Rainbow looked down and counted 6 cyan hooves, but the extra pair was coming from just under her wings. She suddenly whirled about, slapping herself on the back to get them off. As before, they vanished the instant they started to move. That's it! That is it! Twilight shouted in frustration. Come on, every pony! I'm writing to the princess about this. Princess Celestia was seated on one of the great sitting pillows on the floor of her chamber, relaxing as her sister prepared to summon the night. As usual, a few magic scrolls had come in from her faithful student. She had just finished reading all of those when another one appeared above her head. She caught and opened it with her magic, and was treated to a rambling treatise about how the phrase 2 and 2 and 2, and the fact the counting of one's hooves caused the elements of harmony to grant their bearers extra limbs, and how Twilight didn't know what enemy required 6 legs to defeat, but they were ready to face it. Except perhaps for Rarity, who had added a notation about 6 legs being very not fabulous indeed. By the time she was done with the letter, the Alicorn had amused a smirk on her face, figuring she had just been the recipient of an organised practical joke. Her reply was short and sweet. My faithful students, if some foe requiring more than 4 legs should appear, I will be the first to let you know. Otherwise, I enjoyed the letter. I'm glad you've gotten the sense of humour. Yours truly, Princess Celestia. She rolled it up and sealed it, using her magic to send it on its way with a smile. With a contented sigh, she went back to unwinding, but the pile of scrolls sent by Twilight earlier caught her eye. 2 and 2, she chuckled, ticking them off with her hooves. Oops, I missed 2 more. She ticked those off too, blinking down at the extra pair of gold-shod hooves that sprouted up to help her. I think I need a vacation, she sighed. Right, well that was 2 and 2 and 2. A very random fic. Yeah. Don't really know what to say about that one. Maybe it's just a common pony thing that no one's really seen before. But in any case, I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry for all my sniffing and coughing and everything like that. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Keep on spreading the magic of friendship, and I'll see you next time.